I want to read with you a chapter from the book that helps to capture this very essence. This very essence. A little background on the way the book works. I wrote the book for men. Therefore, there's action steps, because men love action steps. We like to follow directions. Granted, when we put something together, we never follow them. We like to think that we can follow directions, and that's what the book does. Lesson 15. Thoughts are things, words become real. During the spring of 2004, I found myself on a Greyhound bus on my way to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, for U.S. Army basic combat training. After working as a deputy sheriff for several years in Santa Cruz, California, I felt compelled to serve concurrently in the Army, and I had decided to enlist in the Army National Guard. As I sat quietly in my seat, several thoughts went through my mind, but the loudest and the most constant thought was, what in the world am I doing in Oklahoma? I was 24 years old when I went through boot camp, which at the time was considered old for initial training and enlistment. On the bus with me on that lonesome drive were 17 and 18-year-old kids, some between their junior and senior year of high school, some having just graduated. I knew the power of staying positive in thought and word from previous life experiences with CrossFit and working as a deputy sheriff, but the other future soldiers apparently did not. On the bus that day, I heard a never-ending stream of statements that revolved around fear, anger, depression, and anxiety. Finally, the bus rolled to a stop inside the gates of Fort Sill. Immediately, a sea of drill sergeants surrounded the bus and began taunting us with menacing faces and gestures. Two fierce-looking drill sergeants stormed onto the bus and yelled, "Get off my bus right now and line up on the yellow lines." Well, I stumbled off the bus and quickly stood at attention on the yellow lines that were painted on the cement in front of the barracks. The yellow lines served an important purpose, as they allowed new recruits with no military experience to quickly assemble into a military formation. Suddenly, my senior drill instructor walked in front of the formation and called the group to attention. I will always remember him and the first few words of wisdom he shared with me and the other future soldiers on that day. "Listen up, prives," said Staff Sergeant Oliver, who would not call us privates for 9 more weeks until we graduated boot camp. He said, "Boot camp will be hard enough physically, and so don't go beating yourself up mentally." Good advice. Hearing those words, I leaned in and I paid close attention. His advice seemed familiar, almost like something my dad would have said. He went on to say, "In my army, I want warriors, and warriors think a certain way. In boot camp, your thoughts will become your words will become your actions will become your habits will become your character, and your character will determine your destiny, and I want warriors." Staff Sergeant Oliver's words, they resonated with me. I knew he was right. In order to be successful at boot camp or any life challenge, I had to remain positive in thought and word. I realized that in the same manner, physical nutrition, the foods that we eat, they are the foundation of our physical capacity. Well, our mental nutrition, the thoughts and words that we entertain on a daily basis, they form the foundation of our life. They define our character. Powerful words, for a soldier of 24 years old and soldiers of 17 and 18 years old far away from home. What's powerful about those words is they really come from a remarkable man. Gandhi said those words well before Staff Sergeant Oliver did. The way the book works is at the end of every chapter there are action steps. Now these action steps are intended to give the reader action, direction, and purpose. Because I learned through my years as a deputy sheriff, as a special agent, as a U.S. Army captain, I learned that it's action that makes a difference. And so consider these action steps and these questions. How strong is the sentry, is the guard, is the warrior in your mind? Are you aware, really aware of your thoughts? Do you really listen to your words? If you are unhappy about your current life circumstances, either in your marriage, your health, your fitness, or profession, have the courage to honestly evaluate if your negative thoughts and words are contributing to the problem. If so, forgive yourself and then develop the habit of affirming what you do want in your life. Have courage and bring to the attention of your loved ones any negative words you hear them speak. Now, do this gently at first, as many times people are completely unaware of their limiting and possibly destructive ways of using language. Inspire people by your loving and constructive words, and set a positive example with everything you do and with everything you say. I want to conclude with one final story that leads to a remarkable lesson. I had the good fortune several years ago of sharing the stage with an incredible young man. His name is Kyle Maynard. Kyle is incredible because Kyle was born with no arms and no legs. Now you'd think that a man born with no arms and no legs would be rather tempted to give up, to not set goals, to not go out there and achieve their dreams. But Kyle was the complete opposite, and he is, to this day, the complete opposite. Kyle was an NCAA world champion wrestler. He defeated opponents on a regular basis that had full use of their arms and legs. Kyle wrote a book and stars in his own movie called No Excuses. Fitting title, is it not? There's no excuses, my friends. The day that Kyle and I shared the stage, we were speaking at a warrior summit. It was a symposium for soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan that have suffered catastrophic injury, that go to war with arms and legs and come back without. And Kyle was speaking and helping to inspire these brave soldiers to realize that it was not the end, it was only the beginning. And he shared a rather remarkable concept that's had a profound impact on my life. I talk about it at length in the book, but I want to share it with you right here and now. He drew a diagram that day that looked like this. Three circles, one inside the other. No problem. The large circle defines what is happening to us, what's happening in our life. This is where most people stay. This is where most people live. This is where most people exist, in the what of their life. If you don't believe me, all you have to do is listen to the most common question ever asked. What's going on? We talk about life based on our circumstances. What's going on around us? It's a very surface way of living. Kyle proposed there was a deeper level that we can live. We can start to contemplate how we respond to what is happening in our life. That's the first step towards self-mastery, towards empowering ourselves. But there's a deeper level, the level that I hope we can all aspire to starting tonight. And that is the level of why. And what Kyle said to me, I will always remember. He said, Greg, the more powerful the why in your life, the more powerful your life will be. And what that really means is, why are we here? Each one of us has a purpose, a calling, a gift. That's the why of our life. And when we know why we're here, we can do anything our heart desires. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, what I wanted to do was just share some stories with you, and then I'm just going to hang out. I've got copies of my book here. If there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. The time now is yours, my friends. Thank you all for being here so very much.
Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.